The hidden mechanics of the world. It's not about personality, it's about leverage. Since childhood, many people have been taught a single golden rule: be an honest, dutiful person. So, they grew up to be exactly that: compliant and accommodating. When the boss assigns extra work, they don't dare to refuse. When clients relentlessly drive down prices, they don't dare to counter. When friends borrow money, they feel too embarrassed to ask for it back. When a partner makes unreasonable demands, they choose to endure it time and again. Over time, they notice a bizarre phenomenon. The more compliant they are, the more they seem to get the short end of the stick. As a result, many conclude this world simply dislikes honest, compliant people.
But the truth is quite the opposite. The world has never punished honesty. It punishes a lack of leverage. Compliance is merely the surface. The real issue is having no chips on the table. When you have no leverage, your compliance is perceived as weakness. But when you have leverage, your compliance is perceived as refinement and breeding. The exact same words. Spoken by the poor, they are a plea. Spoken by the powerful, they are a suggestion. The exact same behavior. A weak person yields because they have no choice. A strong person exercises restraint because they have vision and grace. Many believe the flaw lies in their personality. In reality, the flaw lies in their position. It's not that you are too honest, it's that you have no options. The ultimate blind spot for most ordinary people is attributing their outcomes to personality rather than leverage. They think their income is low because they aren't slick talkers. They think they get bullied because they are too kind. They think they always lose in negotiations because they are too thin-skinned. So they desperately study communication skills, high emotional intelligence, the art of persuasion, and various conversation templates. Years pass, and their circumstances remain practically unchanged. Why? Because what determines your voice has never been your mouth. It is your leverage. What you say doesn't matter. Why others are willing to listen to you is what truly matters. If an employee can be replaced at any moment, then no matter how reasonable their words are, no one will value them. If an employee holds core resources, they don't even need to speak politely to be heard. Value in itself is a form of power. Many people misunderstand how the world works. They believe human interactions are governed by reason and logic. In reality, most of the time, human interactions are an exchange of interests. Logic is just the surface. Leverage is the underlying mechanics. At their core, there are only three types of leverage. Resources, they make others need you. Capability, it makes others depend on you. Irreplaceability, it makes others unable to leave you. The stronger these three are, the greater your power of choice. The more choices you have, the freer you are. And the more freedom you possess, the more you can afford to remain honest and true. People often think you must be aggressive to afford kindness. In fact, it is quite the opposite. True kindness often stems from strength. Because, for the weak, kindness is rarely a choice, it is a necessity. When a defenseless person endures, it isn't necessarily tolerance. When a person capable of striking back chooses restraint, that is true character. This is the most easily overlooked mechanism of the real world. You think people respect your character, but most of the time they respect your value first. Only after that do they care to understand your character. Take a simple workplace example. Employee A works late into the night every day. They do whatever the boss assigns, never making demands, never refusing a task. They seem incredibly dutiful and compliant. Employee B manages the company's core clients and masters critical business workflows. Without them, several projects would grind to a halt. Usually, B is polite and diligent, but when faced with unreasonable arrangements, B refuses directly. In the end, you will find that the boss respects employee B much more. Why? Because A's compliance comes from having no options, while B's compliance comes from restraint despite having options. They look identical on the surface, but their essences are worlds apart. The same applies to personal relationships. Many feel deeply wronged in love, believing they have given their all, yet wondering why their partner still doesn't cherish them. Often, the problem isn't a lack of devotion. It is an imbalance of leverage. Some people abandon their friends, give up their careers, and discard their social circles just to maintain a relationship. They revolve around their partner entirely. It looks like immense sacrifice, but they are actually systematically stripping away their own leverage. As your world shrinks, your partner's options expand. When the value gap widens, the relationship naturally loses its balance. Conversely, long-term, stable relationships share a common trait. Both parties have their own lives, capabilities, and value. They need each other, but neither depends on the other for survival. This kind of relationship is far more secure because the essence of attraction is never supplication. It is value.
Shift your focus. Truly powerful people rarely desire to control others. Because they have enough leverage, they do not need control to feel secure. In contrast, those lacking leverage are prone to anxiety, people-pleasing, and the fear of abandonment. They know that if they lose the opportunity in front of them, they might not get a second chance. This is why so many people live such exhausting lives. They pour all their energy into maintaining relationships while neglecting to upgrade themselves. They desperately study how to make people like them, forgetting to make themselves valuable. They try to win respect through their attitude, ignoring that respect is born from strength. The rule of the world is painfully simple. When you have no leverage, you are at the mercy of others' goodwill. When you have leverage, you possess true autonomy. The greatest security in life does not come from others treating you well. It comes from the absolute certainty that even if they leave, you have the capacity to live exceptionally well.
Summary: your ultimate ace. Do not rush to change your honest nature. Start by accumulating your leverage. Do not rush to learn slick social maneuvering. Start by increasing your value. Do not rush to figure out how to be well-liked. Start by making yourself irreplaceable. When you have enough leverage, you will find that many problems you once couldn't solve no longer need solving, and many people who once caused you anxiety no longer matter. You can still be honest. You can still be kind. You can still be genuine. But this time, your honesty is no longer a compromise. It is a choice. Remember this: the world is never afraid of your honesty. It only fears that you have no chips on the table, yet mistake your compliance for completiveness. Your ultimate ace is not being a smooth talker or a crowd pleaser. It is the absolute capacity at any given moment to walk away, to say no, and to start all over again. That is leverage. That is true freedom.